Hi guys, welcome back to Amanda Loves Sense and Books. I'm going to go over possibly my favorite books that I've ever read. These books will be ones that I don't like to hear bad critiques on. I know that everybody has different taste in books, I get it. But just be nice. Be nice to me in the comments about these books because these are some of my favorites. And I know that they may not be everyone else's favorites, but they were mine when I read them. But to start it off, Kristin Hannah, Firefly Lane. This is a book about friendship. I devoured this. How many page book is this? I'm trying to find it. Almost 500 page book, 479 pages. I devoured this book in like 2 days. But I have a best friend and it reminds me so much of her. I want to watch this show, but I want to kind of read the second book that's supposedly in the series. I just haven't read it yet. There's Mr. Kitty. But anyway, it's a book about friendship, and they meet when they're teenagers, and then the trials and tribulations that friendship has to go through for them to stay friends. And I cried reading this book. This was my first Kristin Hannah book I've ever read, and I loved it. This one probably be one of the most controversial ones on here because some people love this author and some people hate her. Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. This was my second Colleen Hoover book, I think. It was either this or Reminders of Him. But anyway, this is my favorite by her, and it is about Miles and Tate. And Miles has a pretty bad past, and you find that out in this book. And he is Tate's brother's neighbor, and they form this kind of almost friends with benefits, I guess you could say. And he pretty much tells her, don't ask about my past, but don't expect a future from me. And of course it gets ugly, so that's why it's called Ugly Love. And when I found out the twist in this book, I cried so hard, and I threw this book across the couch. I was not expecting what happened to happen in this book. But yes, that is my favorite Colleen Hoover book. This was one of those that I read when I was young, and I will always be a Twilight, Twihard, whatever you call it. I will always be a Twilight fan. I know it's cringy writing, it's cheesy. I rewatched the movies a couple weeks ago with my husband, and I'm still love the universe. I'm still a Jacob girl, but Twilight is just one of those series that I will always love, and I will always have copies of the books. I only like one more, and it's the graphic novel, and I'll have what's out, at least for the United States. But Twilight is just, if you don't know what Twilight is, it is basically a human falls in love with a vampire, and there's a family of vampires, and there's different things that you find out through the series. And if you've not read Twilight, go to your local Goodwill. They'll probably have a copy, or your thrift store, and get you the first book, and then you'll fall in love with it. Another Kristin Hannah book. I read this one this year. I'm not sure. I think it was May or April when I read The Four Winds. But this is basically when the Dust Bowl hits the United States, and this family has to move across the country to survive. And they found out that where they're going is not much better than where they were, but it's about them surviving, and the relationship between a mother and daughter that are both so stubborn and both trying to do what's best for each other, and them coming together and to keep that bond together while also trying not to be at each other's throats while doing so. But this one was my favorite. I've read a couple of her books. I think I read The Nightingale and then maybe one other one, but this one was really good. Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. This is the only book I've read by her so far. One of my friends told me I should read this, but this book is just one of those almost happy. It's not really a fluffy book because some of the stuff that's in it, but it just makes your heart happy, especially at the end. But this boy, or I should say guy, he doesn't speak, and when this, what's her name? I don't remember the girl's name in this book. It's been a minute since I read it. But anyway, this girl comes into town. She used to come there for summer vacations and stuff. And she runs into Archer, and apparently he can do sign language. And she's like, well, I can do sign language. I can talk to him. And she's asked the town, like, what's wrong with him? He doesn't speak. And then you find out they form this friendship, and then eventually they get ways to communicate with each other in ways that no one else in the town has tried. And it's a really good book. If you're going to read any of these, I do suggest this one. South of the Buttonwood Tree by Heather Weber. This one I read last year. If you like magical realism, or you like Where the Crawdads Sing, I think you would like this one. I prefer this one over Where the Crawdads Sing, but it basically, this girl finds this baby, and she's trying to take care of it, and the town's telling her that she shouldn't, and it should go to this other family, and because the girl that found it's not from the best family, and it's just little things like that. And you find out why this baby was left in this tree that leaves little notes for everyone. And I do think if you like Where the Crawdads Sing, where they mislabel or misjudge a person because of their upbringing, you would probably like this one. And then one of the last ones, The Raven's Tale by Cat Williams. If you like Edgar Allan Poe, because this is a kind of a retelling of how Edgar Allan Poe became Edgar Allan Poe. Basically, he starts out when he's younger, and his parents have passed away, and you find out how they passed away, and how this family took him in and tried to raise him, and don't like that he is an artist, even though his family was in that industry. And he's telling him, like, the guy that took him in says, if you want me to pay for your college, you need to not write your poems or write your art and do away with them, pretty much. And it's really good. It tells you, not to give up just because one person is telling you to, because, Edgar Allan Poe is very well known, and just because you get someone that you think would support you doesn't mean you should give up on your dream. Well, that is all I have for now. I have plenty of other books that I do love. A lot of them are nonfiction, but if you would like me to do this video with a nonfiction category, I can do that. And if you like this video, please comment or hit that like button and subscribe. I would love to see more of y'all in the book community here. And if you made it to this end of the video, comment either a book emoji or what is one of your favorite books that you will take no criticism on, or you feel like it should always be a 5-star. But anyway, I hope y'all have a good rest of the day, and thank you for watching.